Scientists can't explain it. Over time, certain people have appeared and broken all the rules we thought governed reality. Today, you'll meet the most mysterious individuals in all of humanity. Are you curious? Join us and let's go. Number 18. Jack the Ripper. The identity of history's most infamous serial killer continues to baffle criminologists and forensic scientists more than a century after his brutal spree terrorized London's East End. Between August and November 1888, a killer brutally murdered at least 5 women in the Whitechapel district, though some investigators believe the true count may be closer to 11 victims. What makes these crimes particularly mysterious was the killer's apparent anatomical knowledge. The precision of the mutilations performed on victims like Catherine Eddowes and Mary Jane Kelly indicated surgical skill that went beyond common knowledge. The murderer removed specific organs with such precision that some investigating physicians believed it could only be done by someone with medical training. The case pioneered forensic techniques that are standard today. Police photographed crime scenes, collected fingerprints, though comparison methods were primitive, and attempted blood analysis. Despite these efforts and the deployment of over 2,000 officers, the killer evaded capture. The infamous "From Hell" letter, received by Vigilante Committee Chairman George Lusk, arrived with half a human kidney preserved in alcohol. Medical examination confirmed the kidney came from a human with alcoholism and Bright's disease, matching the condition of victim Catherine Eddowes' missing kidney. This level of anatomical specificity has never been explained. Modern forensic scientists and criminologists have re-examined the limited physical evidence using advanced techniques. In 2014, DNA testing on a shawl allegedly found at the Catherine Eddowes murder scene yielded mitochondrial DNA that researchers claimed belonged to both victim and a suspect. But contamination issues and chain of custody problems prevent scientific consensus. Number 17. The Green Children of Woolpit. During the 12th century in the English village of Woolpit, Suffolk, a discovery occurred that continues to defy scientific explanation. Farmers working in the fields discovered 2 children, a boy and a girl, with skin that displayed an unmistakable green hue. The children emerged from deep pit-like structures in the ground, speaking an unidentifiable language and refusing to eat any food except for raw beans. The boy, weakened by the strange transition, died shortly after discovery, but the girl survived into adulthood. As she learned English, she explained that they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, where everything, including the light, was green. She described a luminous country where the sun never rose very high, creating a perpetual twilight environment. Number 16. Wolf Children of Midnapur. In 1920, Reverend J.A.L. Singh made an astonishing discovery near Midnapur, India. 2 young girls allegedly raised by wolves. Named Kamala and Amala, these children displayed behaviors entirely inconsistent with human development, moving on all 4s with remarkable speed and demonstrating night vision that baffled medical professionals of the time. Most perplexing were their physical adaptations. Both girls showed calluses on their palms and knees, strengthened quadricep muscles, and jaw structures modified for tearing raw meat. Their sensory capabilities included smelling meat from extraordinary distances and hearing sounds imperceptible to normal human ears, abilities verified through controlled tests conducted by physicians. I have a question for you. First, I would like to say that it is possible to follow the greatest curiosities of our world every day. But to do so, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, are you already subscribed? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Also, take the opportunity to like the video, so YouTube will recommend more videos from our channel. So leave your like right now. And now that you have done that, let's go. Number 15. Tank Man. During China's tumultuous political climate of 1989, one solitary figure captured the world's attention through an act of defiance that remains shrouded in mystery. As a column of tanks rolled through Beijing's Tiananmen Square following student protests, an unidentified man stepped into their path, shopping bags in hand. This ordinary-looking individual in a white shirt and dark pants stood firmly as the lead tank attempted to maneuver around him. Each time the tank changed direction, the man shifted his position to block its path. Eventually, he climbed onto the tank itself, reportedly asking the soldiers inside why they were there and telling them to go home. Number 14. The Man from Tord. In July 1954, a well-dressed European businessman arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport carrying a passport from a country that didn't exist, Tord. When questioned by bewildered immigration officials, the man became equally confused, insisting that Tord was a European nation located between France and Spain that had existed for over 1,000 years. The mystery deepened when the traveler provided seemingly legitimate documentation, not just a passport but a driver's license, bank statements from a Tord financial institution, and business cards from companies that Japanese officials could verify existed but had no record of him. His passport contained stamps from various countries, including previous visits to Japan, yet Japanese records showed no entry from any person with that passport. Number 13. The Vanishing Witness. The babushka lady didn't just watch history, she disappeared right into it. On that sunny November day in 1963, as gunshots echoed through Dealey Plaza and President Kennedy slumped in his car, this mysterious woman stood calmly filming everything. Wearing a distinctive headscarf, the babushka, she appeared in multiple photographs and footage, unflinchingly recording the assassination from one of the best vantage points. What makes her case so strange isn't just her presence, but her complete disappearance afterward. The FBI desperately wanted her footage, potentially the clearest view of the shooting, but she never came forward. Number 12. The Impossible Soldier. Gil Perez defied physics and traveled 9,000 miles in an instant, while fully conscious. On October 24, 1593, Perez was guarding the governor's palace in Manila, Philippines, when he felt suddenly dizzy and closed his eyes. When he opened them seconds later, he found himself standing in Plaza Mayor in Mexico City, on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. Still wearing his Filipino Guard uniform and fully armed, Perez caused immediate commotion. When questioned by Mexican authorities, he calmly explained he had just been guarding the palace in Manila, where the governor had been assassinated the previous day. He had no idea how he'd arrived in Mexico. The officials, thinking him either insane or a deserter, threw him in jail. 2 months later, a Manila galleon arrived, bringing news confirming everything Perez had said. Governor Gomez Perez Dasmariñas had indeed been assassinated exactly as Perez described. Furthermore, crew members recognized Perez as a palace guard they'd seen in Manila shortly before departure. Number 11. The Midnight Mourner. For 6 decades, the Poe toaster paid homage to America's master of horror through a ritual that seemed straight from one of Poe's own tales. Every January 19th, Edgar Allan Poe's birthday, from 1949 to 2009, a shadowy figure dressed in black would slip into Baltimore's Westminster Hall Cemetery in the dead of night. The ritual never varied. The figure would approach Poe's grave, place 3 roses in a precise arrangement, pour a glass of cognac, raise it in toast, then leave the bottle and glass behind. Sometimes a cryptic note accompanied these offerings. The roses represented Poe, his wife Virginia, and her mother Maria Clem. Number 10. The Immortal Count. Count Saint-Germain walked through European high society for over a century without aging a day. First appearing in Venetian society around 1710, he became a fixture in royal courts across Europe until his supposed death in 1784, except countless reliable witnesses reported meeting him well into the 1800s. The Count spoke a dozen languages, flawlessly, played multiple instruments with virtuoso skill, and exhibited knowledge of historical events so intimate that listeners assumed he must have witnessed them personally. When pressed, he never denied it. To one noble woman who remarked on a historical figure from centuries earlier, he casually replied, "I knew him quite well, madame." Number 9. The Unexplainable Savant. Orlando Sorel shouldn't be a mathematical genius, but he is. Before January 17, 1979, 10-year-old Orlando was an ordinary boy with average intelligence. That day, while playing baseball, he was struck hard on the left side of his head by a ball. He suffered headaches for a while but received no medical treatment. When the headaches subsided, something extraordinary had happened. Orlando suddenly possessed calendar calculation abilities that defy explanation. Given any date from his accident forward, he can instantly tell you what day of the week it fell on. He can recall the weather, what he was wearing, and what he was doing for every single day since the injury. Medical science has documented his abilities extensively, but cannot explain them. MRI scans show no significant brain differences that would account for his sudden mathematical prowess. Number 8. The human calculator. Scott Flansburgh processes numbers faster than computers, using methods mathematicians can't explain. Unlike most mathematical prodigies who develop their abilities through years of study, Flansburgh displayed his unique numerical talents almost from birth. By age 9, he could perform complex calculations mentally faster than teachers could verify them with calculators. What makes Flansburgh truly mysterious isn't just his speed, but his method. When solving problems, he doesn't use traditional mathematical approaches taught in schools. Instead, he describes seeing numbers as shapes and patterns that interact in three-dimensional space. Number 7. The Reborn Sisters. The Pollock twins broke the boundaries between life and death, challenging everything we think we know about consciousness. Their story begins tragically in Hexham, England, 1957, when sisters Joanna, 11, and Jacqueline, 6, were walking to church. A car driven by a suicidal woman jumped the curb, killing both girls instantly. Their parents, John and Florence, were devastated. A year later, Florence became pregnant with twins. This alone was strange, as twins didn't run in either family. Even stranger was John's absolute conviction that these babies would be girls and would contain the souls of their dead daughters. The pregnancy nearly destroyed their marriage as Florence thought John's obsession unhealthy. Number 6. The Vanishing Prime Minister. Harold Holt walked into the ocean and became the center of one of history's strangest disappearances. As Australia's serving Prime Minister, Holt went swimming at Cheviot Beach near Melbourne on December 17, 1967. Despite being an experienced swimmer, he vanished in moderate surf conditions while multiple witnesses watched from shore. His body was never found. What elevated Holt's disappearance from tragic accident to enduring mystery were the circumstances surrounding it. The beach was one he knew well, yet he chose to swim despite warning flags and rough conditions. More puzzling was the complete absence of any physical evidence. No body, no clothing, nothing washed ashore despite extensive search operations. Number 5. The Living Library. Kim Peek stored more information in his head than seemed humanly possible. The inspiration for the film Rain Man, Peek could read 2 pages simultaneously, one with each eye, at a rate of 8 to 10 seconds per page, with 98% retention of everything he read. By his death in 2009, he had memorized approximately 12,000 books verbatim. What makes Peek truly mysterious wasn't just the volume of his memory, but its unexplainable mechanism. Peek was born with severe brain abnormalities. He had no corpus callosum connecting his brain hemispheres, damaged cerebellum, and macrocephaly. By all neurological understanding, these conditions should have severely limited his cognitive abilities, not enhanced them. During scientific testing, researchers discovered Peek could recall the precise content of any page from any book he had read, along with the exact page number and publication information. Number 4. The Man from Nowhere. The Somerton Man washed up on an Australian beach in 1948 and still hasn't been identified more than 75 years later. Found well-dressed on Somerton Beach near Adelaide on December 1, 1948, this anonymous man carried no identification, had all labels removed from his clothing, and possessed physical features that matched no missing persons. His fingerprints and dental records matched no records in any international database. The mystery deepened when investigators found a tiny piece of paper hidden in a secret pocket in his trousers. On it was printed Tamam Shud, meaning it is ended in Persian, torn from a rare edition of the poetry book, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. The book it came from was later found in a stranger's car, with a telephone number and an uncrackable Code penciled inside the cover. Number 3. Casper Howser. On May 26, 1828, a teenage boy appeared in Nuremberg, Germany, barely able to walk and speaking only one sentence: "I want to be a cavalryman, as my father was." This mysterious figure, later identified as Casper Howser, carried a letter addressed to a military captain claiming he had been kept in isolation since infancy, with no human contact besides a masked keeper who brought him bread and water. Doctors examining Howser found his legs underdeveloped and his feet showing no signs of having worn shoes. His behavior resembled that of a toddler despite his physical age of approximately 16. More baffling still, he couldn't tolerate normal food, strong light, or loud sounds, suggesting years of sensory deprivation that medical science couldn't fully explain. Number 2. Robert Johnson. Mississippi Delta bluesman. Robert Johnson's transformation from an incompetent musician to a virtuoso seemingly overnight remains one of music's greatest mysteries. In the early 1930s, Johnson struggled to play even basic guitar progressions, regularly being mocked by established musicians when he attempted to join their performances. Johnson disappeared for approximately 18 months between 1931 and 1932. When he returned, his guitar skills had undergone a metamorphosis so complete and astonishing that witnesses couldn't reconcile his new abilities with natural learning progression. Musicians who had previously ridiculed him watched in disbelief as Johnson performed complex techniques that master guitarists twice his age couldn't replicate. Number 1. The Man in the Iron Mask. During the reign of King Louis XIV of France, a mysterious prisoner was held in extraordinary secrecy for decades. Unlike other political prisoners of the era, this man was forced to wear a mask at all times, not of iron as legend suggests, but a black velvet covering that completely obscured his facial features from everyone except his primary jailer. First imprisoned around 1669, this nameless figure moved between various French prisons, always under the same strict protocol. No one could see his face, he could not speak of his identity, and guards were instructed to kill him immediately if he attempted to reveal himself. Now, I have a special recommendation for you. Are you seeing this video that is appearing on the screen? Click on it because I'm sure you'll like it. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One,